Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NBA Live segment for Friday, December 7th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't came and check out the site at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, everything that you need. So make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
What's up, man? Busy day of NBA. Lots to get to.
Yeah, definitely. So before we jump into any questions or do anything like that, Jeremy's going to give us a quick breakdown on some injury news that has come out, some injury news that we're waiting on, and kind of get us going with this day. So go ahead if you want to get us started with that, bro.
Hey, man, but before I do that, make sure you tell these dudes to click that like button and subscribe button, man. You almost missed your part.
I did. I told him already.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll pay attention to injury news here. So check it out. So bonus for the Pacers is out with food poisoning. Ish Smith is out for the next 2 weeks. Reggie Bullock is also out tonight. Both those guys out for Detroit. Bobby Portis and Chris Dunn look like they were going to play today. They are now out. We know Joel Embiid was ruled out earlier this morning. Wayne Ellington and Hassan Whiteside ruled out last night for today. Brandon Ingram also out for at least 2 games. And David Nwaba, Gary Harris, they are also out as well. With David Nwaba out and the news that just broke out of Cleveland, they have traded George Hill to the Milwaukee Bucks for Matthew Dellavedova and John Henson. In that trade, Sam Decker is also included. The Suns also just signed Jawan Evans. The reason that that's relevant is because at this moment right now, you've got Ariza and TJ Warren both questionable tonight, and you've also got Booker already ruled out. So with the signing of Jawan Evans, it being a home game, to me looks like you're probably going to be without Ariza and without TJ Warren and another possible blowout for the Suns signing that. There's a lot of value on the board. I would tell you the top 5 value spots right now, there's really 6 of them. Colin Sexton becomes an elite play tonight with George Hill not in play for Cleveland being traded. Josh Hart, an elite play as well, your shooting guard spot with no Brandon Ingram. Stanley Johnson without Ish Smith and Reggie Bullock. You could look to Stanley Johnson as a value small forward play, as well as Langston Galloway at the shooting guard spot. Amir Johnson at power forward, minimum value 3,500. And then the center spot, you obviously got Mike Muscala now with Embiid out and Bam with Whiteside out.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for going through that. Today's one of those days where there's a lot of news that you definitely gotta continue paying attention to all the way through lock. So we're only going to be here for a couple of minutes. If you guys got any questions on tonight's slate, definitely hit us in the comment section. We'll get to those questions as fast as possible. And if we don't get any questions in the next couple of minutes, honestly, I'm just going to get up out of here. Not going to really wait around. Like you said, man, we got a lot of stuff that we still got to look into, and got 150 lineups to build, man. So who do you think is the absolute best value play on tonight's slate?
You know, that's hard to say, but I like Josh Hart a lot at 3,900. Yeah. I also think that Josh Hart's the popular guy, so he should be relatively chalky because it's a very obvious spot.
He's a free square, bro. Just say it is what it is. Okay, right. Let me reword my question. Sorry. Who is the best value outside of Josh Hart? He's going to be the free square for sure. And, also, when Josh Hart put up 39 fantasy points against San Antonio earlier in the year, so I mean, he definitely has the upside. So outside of Josh Hart, who you liking, bro?
I like the guys I gave you. I mean, Colin Sexton, we already know when George Hill was getting minutes. When George Hill returned, I should say, he still got minutes, and now George Hill's been traded. Colin Sexton's price dropped based on George Hill coming back, so he's in the $4,600 range. So I love George Hill. Gives you an opportunity to go get Steph Curry or Westbrook.
You mean Colin Sexton? You love Colin Sexton?
Yeah, I love Colin Sexton.
George Hill, sorry.
But to be honest with you, bro, I think Amir Johnson is the best drop spot now because you don't know what's going to happen with Amir Johnson. He's a minimum value play. Josh Hart's a true value play, right? You're not going to worry about Josh Hart being your drop spot tonight at 3,900. And that's the thing. The way tonight's shaping up, this is stars and scrubs night.
Honestly, I personally rather go with Muscala over Amir Johnson. Muscala is already,
but you don't have to because Amir Johnson's a power forward.
Price.
No, but Amir Johnson's a power forward and Muscala is a center, so you don't have to go one or the other. You can load Amir Johnson as your power forward too, as your drop spot, and he's an upside play. Because Hart, you don't have to worry about him being your drop spot tonight. He should not dud.
Yeah, he should at least get value for sure. I agree with you definitely. So yeah, man. I mean, that's really there's a lot of news. And one thing I do want to mention, we talked about it on last night's breakdown of the slate, is we were already liking Sexton yesterday on a discounted price tag, and now with no George Hill, oh, he's gonna get a shitload of minutes. So I love Sexton. And another guy I talked about who was my second favorite play on the Cavs was Alec Burks at 4,000. He was already getting minutes, 26, 27 minutes a game since coming to Cleveland the past 4. And now they're without George Hill. And it really was a 4-man rotation. It was Sexton, it was George Hill, it was Alec Burke, and it was Jordan Clarkson. Those 4 guys. Now you take Hill out the mix. I definitely think Sexton, Alec Burke, and even Jordan Clarkson, but his price tag is way too high for me. I think all the guard minutes are really going to go between those 3 guys. So I definitely think all of them get a boost for sure. But like I said, with Clarkson, his price tag is a little bit too high for me. I'd definitely rather take a flyer on Alec Burke at 4,000, which is really close to minimum price. I think, honestly, a lot of people are going to pay down at shooting guard. And I think some people are even going to stack Caldwell Pope and Hart because they're both minimum price and they're both going to get, close to 30 minutes. What do you think about that strategy today?
I don't like it at all.
You don't like it? No, yeah, me neither. Personally, I don't like it either. I'm gonna go Hart. Honestly, I feel Hart's probably gonna be an absolute lock in my lineup. But yeah, I don't see coming back with Jordan Clarkson as well. I'm with you on that. I've seen a lot of people talk about it.
If you're building 150 lineups tonight, I think that there's enough value, solid value on the board. And then to me, I honestly think that the best drop spot. Look, that's a strategy on FanDuel. You've got to play a drop spot guy. You just have to. It's a salary relief drop spot guy. You might as well plug in Amir Johnson and forget about it at 3,500. He's starting at center. If he doesn't get in foul trouble, he should see a good amount of minutes tonight, at least 18 minutes. So I think that's one spot you move on. So now you're talking about why do I need to put 2 value plays at my shooting guard spot with a DeMar DeRozan, a Klay Thompson. Those guys are in really, really good spots. I mean, Thompson played very well against Milwaukee earlier in the year. We know what DeRozan's done against the Lakers in the past. So I think you got money to go up to one of those 2 spots. You got money to get a Steph Curry or Russell Westbrook. To me, the spot is small forward. What do you do at small forward tonight? Do you play LeBron? Do you play KD? Do you pay all the way up for Giannis? That's what you got to figure out because there's definitely value to get all those guys up. To me, the interesting strategy is you go value and play like a Reggie Jackson at 5,500 with a Colin Sexton and pay up for a LeBron and a KD or a Giannis and a KD and stack that up. That's the interesting thing to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you too. And then one more guy that, we're talking about all the value on the board. There's actually a guy that I'm really liking at small forward. I definitely think if you don't want to go with Amir Johnson, you could look to this guy, to play as your drop spot. It's Dante Cunningham. He's going into the starting lineup tonight. 3,600. He played 33 minutes last game against the Lakers, and he just didn't score the ball. This guy, we know, could hit a couple 3-pointers. I mean, it's another drop spot option. If you want, if there's 2 power forwards you really like, and there's not a small forward that you're loving outside of, say, a LeBron or a KD or somebody, then I definitely think you could throw this guy Dante Cunningham in there, 3,600 starting today as a drop spot as well for sure. Just wanted to mention him. He was a guy that was really standing out to me, as a solid value play as well. So, I mean, honestly, that's really where I'm at on this slate. I mean, I'm going to try to get a lot of exposure to that Warriors in Milwaukee game. I think that's going to be a really good game, back and forth game. And Milwaukee's at home, so I think, like I said, I think this game is going to stay close all the way through. I think this is a spot where we can finally see, we can see the Milwaukee guys and the Golden State guys get their full allotment of minutes. I definitely could see that in this game. Really looking forward to this game, and that's the premier game on the night that I definitely want to get exposure to. So, I mean, is there anybody that's really, really standing out for you today that you feel you're going to be overexposed on?
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan? Okay. I like DeMar DeRozan too. And one more question for you. I wasn't on Drummond at all, but now that Embiid is out, I mean, do you get a monster boost with Drummond now?
You have to, right? I mean, Mike Muscala is more of a power forward play, and that's where they used him when they traded Jimmy Butler. We can't forget that they when they acquired Jimmy Butler and got rid of Sarge and Covington, they used Muscala as their power forward play. So, that's not a guy that can defend an Andre Drummond.
Yeah. So
Looks
one
like
thing that
Julius
just came
Randle
out,
will remain in the starting lineup ahead of Mirotic. So
yep,
Mirotic is playing but not starting.
gotta like Randall for sure. So a couple quick questions. First question is, what do I think about stacking Simmons and Butler? I definitely think with no Embiid, Simmons and Butler do get a monster uptick in usage. They're gonna need to score the ball more. I definitely think you can stack both of those guys in GPPs and feel pretty solid with the upside doing that. What do we think about Tristan Thompson versus the Kings? We talked about it last night. Tristan Thompson's been on fire. We do like Tristan Thompson against the Kings. The problem with Tristan Thompson is the price tag is really, really high right now. That's the thing that's really holding me off of Tristan Thompson, especially when he's a guy that he really doesn't score the ball that much. So, it's like we're really hoping that he scores the ball, gets us rebounds, gets us blocks and steals. Tristan Thompson, strictly GPP play. And then, we got Eli. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna read this question. I'm gonna let you answer this question. All right. So you got Ellis and Ziano is in here. He said every top player, I guess he's saying in the industry he's seen, is always winning with a balanced lineup. I personally don't think that is necessarily true. But what is your take on that?
That's 100% not true, the always part. But here's what the takeaway from that should be. That is being contrarian and finding low ownership plays, and that's what wins tournaments, is finding guys that are across the board low. So being balanced on a slate like tonight, where there's obvious chalk when people want to get exposure to, is exactly how you take down a tournament. Being balanced, finding your one drop spot. Big slates is where being balanced can benefit you. But here's the problem with it. It only works if the chalk doesn't go off. So understand it's a risk you're taking. It's a strategy play. It's not like, I should 100% of the time only build balanced lineups because that's the only way I'm going to take down a tournament. That is 100% not the case. You have to find ways to be different. And depending on what the slate dictates and understanding that it's more about hedging. So if I'm going to build 150 lines, maybe 25% of them I build balanced, 25% of them I go stars and scrubs, 25% of them, I pay up in two spots and have two drop spots, or I do something like you're talking about with the shooting guard position. I, load up two value plays at one position. So it's not a absolute, like I have to build balanced lineups because that's the only way to win. The only way to take a tournament down is to be different and have guys in your lineup nobody else owns.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a perfect example. Last year when I took down the almost eight, I took down, I think of like $7,800 or something. It was a strict stars and scrubbed. I had Raymond Felton, who was 1% owned. He was the only guy that I had him on that slate. And hey, he pushed me over the edge. I ended up coming second, won almost 8K. So yeah, I definitely think it's more ownership than it is about
absolutely
scrubbed or balance.
It's knowing the spots and knowing where the value is. It's always going to come down to where's the value at, where's the underpriced play. I've seen people take 100 G's down with the combination of Russell Westbrook and Patty Mills. It's knowing where to pay down at and where the value is based on the opportunity. That's what it's all about. Sometimes it dictates a balanced lineup. Sometimes it dictates stars and scrubs. This is one of those slates, to be honest with you, if the chalk goes off, because there's so much obvious value on the board, that you can have another one of these crazy nights where 400 points takes down a tournament.
Yeah, no, for sure. So real quick, Turner tonight, definitely Turner and Thaddeus Young will get a boost with no Sabonis tonight. They're in play. I'm staying away from the guy at Kobo. I'm just not messing with that dude. The guy's just so inconsistent. So no thank you on that one. And I mean, I think that's about it, bro. We got no other questions. I mean, we got a lot of work to do with our lineups. So yeah, man, if you guys got any more questions, feel free real quick, hit us in the comment section. If not, I'm ready to get out of here, man. Got a lot of work to do in the next 25 minutes to get the lineups out and all that good stuff for sure. One thing, like I said, I mentioned this earlier in the video, don't just absolutely throw money in the way, down the drain today. You have to have some kind of exposure to the Warriors in Milwaukee game for sure. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm never going to say that. I'm just going to take that question you just asked me and kind of parlay that into the question we got asked in the chat about having to have a balanced lineup. And here's what it boils down to on every single slate, period, point blank, how you build lineups. You need 6x in tournaments, 6x plus. So that's the question you ask yourself with every player you plug in. Can they give me 6x tonight? Where is that at? So you don't have to have exposure to that game, but you have to. I'm a big believer you have to have some exposure to the last games on the slate. And do you want exposure to the Warriors in Milwaukee, or do you want exposure to the Suns in the Heat?
Yeah, for sure. And one more quick thing. Ellis said that the guys that we always talk about are usually the high-owned guys. I'm gonna tell you something. One more thing, but you could take down a tournament having 5, 6 high-owned guys. You just really have to differentiate yourself with 1 or 2 players to make your lineup different from others and jump ahead. You would agree, correct?
Obviously, Ellis hasn't watched my GPP core plays where I'm giving you guys almost 4 days a week. I'm giving you guys plays that 2 nights ago. Who else played Jimmy Butler?
Right.
Who else played Paul George? Who else had Eric Bledsoe not on the late slate, but who had him on the early slate as a key play? Because Middleton was ruled out after the slate was over. So we do not give you all the chalk plays, but your point is 100% valid. It's that you don't have to be cute. If there's chalk on the board that's an obvious good spot, you expose it. You only need to be different in 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah. Hey, last question. I'm ready to get out of here, bro. You taking Jimmy Butler or DeMar DeRozan tonight?
Jimmy Butler has a better price, and he has a better situation without Embiid. And Jimmy Butler's got his last game against Detroit. He had 54 fantasy points. So I personally right now I'm overexposed to DeRozan and need to get more exposure to Butler.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna go DeRozan in that one. I like DeRozan. He's been playing very well this season against the Lakers. 3 times already. Why not go right back to the well? Last question. Oh, not even a question. And Christopher just wanted to point out also the other night when you called Aaron Gordon and he was low owned, he had a monster game. He said that was a good call for you, bro.
Hey,
give you a little prop. Give you a little prop.
We've called Rashawn Holmes. We've called Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to watch day in and day out. You can't just hop in and say we're only giving you the chalk because that's not necessarily the case.
Hey, last question, bro, and I got to get out of here. Mr. Barnes wants to know, do we like Giannis or we like Durant? We had this discussion last night. It's really, I think Giannis is going to give you more fantasy points, in my opinion, but are those fantasy points worth the 1,400 or whatever the difference is in the price tag? That's the big question, more than just who we like better.
When you break it down, and you and I had this question off the air, I believe, right? We were already done with the video when we had it. So here's how I'll break it down very quickly so we can get up out of here. They're both averaging over their last 5 games about 1.55 fantasy points per minute. There's a $1,400 price difference. So if you got Bonds on one side of the street and you got Albertsons on the other, and you're gonna go get soda, and one's got it cheaper than the other, where are you going? So they get the same production, basically, and Durant's production. I understand there's 2 70-point games in that, but there's also 3 where he's gotten solid production and a very fair price for that production of the last 3 games right now at the 10-6.
Yeah, for sure. So. Hey, man, I think that's about it, man. I'm ready to get out of here. I got a lot of work to do real quick in these next 20 minutes. Thank you guys very much for checking out this video. Thank you for hopping on here with me, helping me out, Jeremy. I appreciate that. As always, good luck on your contest tonight. If you haven't already, go check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com, and play our actual cash lineups tonight. Or throw some entries in GPP with the optimizer. We got a lot of things that you can do on the site, so check it out, dfscheatsheet.com. Good luck on your guys' contest tonight, man. Peace out.